Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 8th, I believe, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, Google launched their new algorithm for the HTTPS. Specifically, they launched a little signal in their algorithm that will give you a small, tiny little boost if you have your whole entire site over HTTPS protocol. So now all these SEOs are rushing to go ahead and do it. I have a crazy amount of details about that on August 7th at seroundtable.com, talking about the announcement that it only affects fewer than 1% of global queries currently, that Google might go ahead and increase that signal over time as it gives webmasters more of a time period to go ahead and upgrade. This was something that Matt Cutts asked for back in March or earlier, and he got his way, even though he's on leave now. If you already have SSL, yes, you have to do it. If you want to get the boost, it's not just on the secure pages. You want to do it across your whole domain name, so you get the boost across your whole domain name. Is there a negative side doing it? Possibly. If you do it wrong, it could completely destroy your site. So make sure you follow these best practices listed over here. There's a testing tool that you could actually use. There's also a lot of reaction, which I covered from the SEO community about this. But overall, this is a positive change. I moved over my corporate site, rustybrick.com, to it yesterday, and I have some more posts about it, specifically about SEOs. Well, let's go through this in order so you can actually see it. So one is, you should know that the change of address tool does not currently support migrating or making a change of address in Google Webmaster Tools from HTTP to HTTPS. This is a known issue. I don't know when Google's going to fix it, but it simply does not work right now. Google's saying instead just do a 301 redirect. That should be fine. Also, Google said that news publishers, including like our site here, can switch over by using a 301 redirect and setting up the rest of the stuff as requested. So I'm going to go ahead and try it for my site. If it blows things up, I'll let you know. But so far, my main site has been okay. The Google News site is a separate story, and I'll give that a try, and hopefully things will go okay. Finally, SEOs are currently blaming their migration from HTTP to HTTPS already for their ranking drops. I'm not sure if that's something fair to actually do, but they are blaming ranking drops already. Remember, we've been talking about the Pigeon update, their local search upgrade, and we actually show how Pigeon has been updating and updating and updating, where it's actually trying to get better and better and better, which Google says they have been doing. They said when they announced Pigeon, they actually said they'll do that, but Google is not going to comment or give me a yes or no on if they actually do Pigeon updates in the future. We think there was a Pigeon 1.1, maybe a 1.2, but Google said no, we're not going to give you any comments on that, or future ones probably. Google Webmaster Tools is now showing the carbon copy of what you actually submitted as your reconsideration request when you actually go ahead and file it. So here's an example. I don't know if you can see it, but basically it says we received your reconsideration request, yada, 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 and here's a reference of the full text of your original reconsideration request, so you have a copy of that. So that's nice to actually see. Google Webmaster Tools, for some reason, dropped author stats. It's not surprising. They haven't updated in about a month or so, and Google authorship itself, the images, have been removed, and the circle counts have been removed. I'm a little bit upset that they removed it. It's something that I think was useful for especially authors that write across multiple blogs or multiple sites, but it has been removed, and Google has actually not commented on why they removed it or confirmed they removed it, but it actually is gone. It's been gone for several days. Google launched a Google News Publisher tool center, Google News Publisher Center. So if you're in Google News, it basically gives you a way to actually control things. Like here, you can actually go ahead and see all the news sites you have in Google News, if they're verified and so forth. Then you can edit the source name, what label belongs into, like op-eds or paid descriptions. Then you can actually break down the sections. So if you have like a major news site like New York Times, you can have an art section, you can have a business section, and so forth, and communicate which URL goes to which section. See, this is what scared me, because the source URL here is HTTP, and it doesn't say HTTPS. So that kind of scares me in terms of switching to Google News, because it's like a hard-coded thing. But Google said it will be okay. Anyway, so that is pretty much the Google News Publisher Center. Google's actually testing a mobile version of what we called back in the day. Let me just show you. Back in the day, we have these things which are basically knowledge graph or overlays. When you click on a link this is actual desktop results. It brought down information about what that is about. Now they're actually testing that. Let me just zoom out a little bit. In the search results, and mobile search results in a different way. So it shows you a snippet of it, and if you click on it, Like here's an example, a snippet of Yelp, and if you actually click on it, it would actually expand and show you a lot more, again, like a knowledge graph box right in the search result snippets, which is a neat way. I don't personally see it yet, but Google has been testing it. The University of California, Berkeley, is not getting along with Google. They have major ranking issues, specifically, and indexing issues, specifically with Google. It seems to be an issue specifically with their server and how their server is not able to handle the speed. So they're working on that, hopefully. Not Google, but Berkeley. Metafilter seems to have come out of their penalty with the Google algorithm penalty that affected them back in November 17th, 2012. So you can see here, their search metrics traffic dive. Something's going on over here, but it's still a downward trend. And then all of a sudden, this past week, it jumped up to almost exactly the same levels as it was originally back before November 2012. Google and Metafilter has not responded to my comments asking about that, more details about that. Interesting enough. Google Webmaster, Greg Nyland, also known as Good ROI, asked why, there's author rank, there's websites have trust factors and stuff like that. Maybe Google also has a factor for webmasters or SEOs. Maybe there's a webmaster rank or an SEO rank. I doubt it. It would be cool, but I strongly doubt that. Google Merchant Center has updated the shipping configuration tool to make it much more flexible. Often you go there and you actually go ahead and go to Google Shopping, filter by total price, and the shipping information is actually wrong compared to what the merchant actually has on their own website. And Google went ahead and actually improved their shipping configuration tool for merchants to actually upload a more detailed configuration of that information. And here's a screenshot of that. Google AdWords said there are chances or places where you could actually be charged for invalid clicks. Specifically, they said when a search is made with IP address A, which was not excluded from the actual IP exclusion list, and then the click was made with IPB, which was excluded from it, but Google has no control over after the click factor. So in that case, Google will actually charge you for invalid click. You are charged upon these clicks unless we detect these clicks are fraudulent. The fact that you have blocked an IP and that click is made with an IP is relevant because the search that led to the click is done with a different IP. And it's extremely rare. It's only for like our ISPs like AOL and those types of things that change your IP address dynamically, constantly throughout the day. Most ISPs do not do that, where you pretty much keep your dynamic IP throughout the whole entire day, or even for months until you reset your modem. Finally, you definitely want to check out I wrote it this morning, our August 2014 Google Webmaster report. We basically do a report summarizing the whole entire week, the whole entire month of Google Webmaster topics, and it was a crazy month. Nothing specifically was that earth-shattering, but there was a lot of things going on. If you look back at 30 days, Google is pretty impressive in terms of the Webmaster stuff. Just to give you an overview of stuff, but it's just a snippet of what's going on. The pigeon update, HTTPS as a ranking signal, international targeting was added to Webmaster tools. Google added carbon copies of your Webmaster reconsideration requests. They launched a new robots.txt tester tool. They launched a new news publisher center, and they also went ahead and dropped author stats. There were possibly 3 updates that Google did not confirm, one on June 28th, July 5th, and July 30th. We still are waiting for a Penguin update 10 months after the fact. And the quality raters guidelines actually has been leaked again, and this is all while Matt Cutts has been away. And there's tons and tons of stuff you want to check out if you want to catch up quickly on the search news, specifically around Google Webmaster SEO topics over the past month. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. I do apologize again for talking so fast. I'm just always in a rush. I apologize, and hopefully you guys learned something. And feel free to read the Search Engine Roundtable. Anyway, this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week at seroundtable.com. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.